Chapter 18. Afterward, Jehovah appeared to him among the big trees of Mamre, while he was sitting at the entrance of the tent during the hottest part of the day. He looked up and saw 3 men standing some distance from him. When he saw them, he ran from the entrance of the tent to meet them, and he bowed down to the ground. Then he said,
Jehovah, if I have found favor in your eyes, please do not pass by your servant. Please let a little water be brought and have your feet washed. Then recline under the tree. Seeing that you have come here to your servant, let me bring a piece of bread so that you may refresh yourselves. Then you may go on your way.
At this they said,
All right, you may do as you have spoken.
So Abraham hurried to the tent to Sarah and said,
Quick, get 3 measures of fine flour, knead the dough, and make loaves of bread.
Next Abraham ran to the herd and chose a tender and good young bull. He gave it to the attendant, who hurried to prepare it. He then took butter and milk and the young bull that he had prepared and set the food before them. Then he stood by them under the tree as they were eating. They said to him,
Where is your wife, Sarah?
He replied,
Here, in the tent.
So one of them continued,
I will surely return to you next year at this time, and look, your wife Sarah will have a son.
Now Sarah was listening at the tent entrance, which was behind the man. Abraham and Sarah were old, being advanced in years. Sarah was past the age of childbearing. So Sarah began to laugh to herself, saying,
After I am worn out and my Lord is old, will I really have this pleasure?
Then Jehovah said to Abraham,
Why did Sarah laugh and say, Am I really going to give birth, even though I am old? Is anything too extraordinary for Jehovah? I will return to you next year at this appointed time, and Sarah will have a son.
But Sarah denied it, saying,
I did not laugh.
For she was afraid. At this he said,
Yes, you did laugh.
When the men got up to leave and looked down toward Sodom, Abraham was walking with them to escort them. Jehovah said,
Am I keeping hidden from Abraham what I am going to do? Why, Abraham is surely going to become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth will be blessed by means of him. For I have come to know him, in order that he may command his sons and his household after him to keep Jehovah's way, by doing what is right and just, so that Jehovah may bring about what he has promised concerning Abraham.
Then Jehovah said,
The outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is indeed great, and their sin is very heavy. I will go down to see whether they are acting according to the outcry that has reached me, and if not, I can get to know it.
Then the men left from there and went toward Sodom, but Jehovah remained with Abraham. Then Abraham approached and said,
Will you really sweep away the righteous with the wicked? Suppose there are 50 righteous men within the city. Will you then sweep them away and not pardon the place for the sake of the 50 righteous who are inside it? It is unthinkable that you would act in this manner by putting the righteous man to death with the wicked one, so that the outcome for the righteous man and the wicked is the same. It is unthinkable of you. Will the judge of all the earth not do what is right?
Then Jehovah said,
If I find in Sodom 50 righteous men in the city, I will pardon the whole place for their sake.
But Abraham again responded,
Please, here I have presumed to speak to Jehovah, whereas I am dust and ashes. Suppose the 50 righteous should lack 5. Because of the 5, will you destroy the whole city?
To this he said,
I will not destroy it if I find there 45.
But yet again he spoke to him and said,
Suppose 40 are found there.
He answered,
I will not do it for the sake of the 40.
but he continued,
Jehovah, please do not become hot with anger, but let me go on speaking. Suppose only 30 are found there.
He answered,
I will not do it if I find 30 there.
but he continued,
Please, here I have presumed to speak to Jehovah. Suppose only 20 are found there.
He answered.
I will not destroy it for the sake of the 20.
Finally he said,
Jehovah, please, do not become hot with anger, but let me speak just once more. Suppose only 10 are found there.
He answered.
I will not destroy it for the sake of the 10.
When Jehovah finished speaking to Abraham, he went his way, and Abraham returned to his place. Chapter 19. The two angels arrived at Sodom by evening, and Lot was sitting in the gate of Sodom. When Lot saw them, he got up to meet them, and bowed down with his face to the earth. And he said,
Please, my lords, turn aside, please, into the house of your servant, and stay overnight, and have your feet washed. Then you may get up early and travel on your way.
To this they said,
No, we will stay overnight in the public square.
but he was so insistent with them that they went with him to his house. Then he made a feast for them, and he baked unleavened bread, and they ate. Before they could lie down to sleep, the men of the city, the men of Sodom from boy to old man, all of them, surrounded the house in one mob. And they kept calling out to Lot and saying to him,
Where are the men who came into you tonight?
Bring them out to us, so that we may have sex with them.
Then Lot went out to them to the doorway, and he shut the door behind him. He said,
Please, my brothers, do not act wickedly. Please, here I have 2 daughters who have never had sexual relations with a man. Please let me bring them out to you, for you to do to them whatever seems good to you. But do not do anything to these men, for they have come under the shelter of my roof.
At this they said,
Stand back.
and they added,
This lone foreigner came to live here, and yet he dares to judge us. Now we are going to do worse to you than to them.
and they crowded in on Lot and moved forward to break down the door. So the men reached out their hands and brought Lot into the house with them, and they shut the door. But they struck the men who were at the entrance of the house with blindness, from the least to the greatest, so that they wore themselves out trying to find the doorway. Then the men said to Lot,
Do you have anyone else here? Sons-in-law, your sons, your daughters, and all your people in the city. Bring out of this place.
For we are going to destroy this place, because the outcry against them has indeed grown great before Jehovah, so that Jehovah sent us to destroy the city.
So Lot went out and began to speak to his sons-in-law, who were to marry his daughters. And he kept saying,
Get up, get out of this place, because Jehovah will destroy the city.
But to his sons-in-law he seemed to be joking. As dawn was breaking, the angels became urgent with Lot, saying,
Get up! Take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here with you, so that you will not be swept away in the error of the city.
When he kept lingering, then because of Jehovah's compassion for him, the men seized hold of his hand, and the hand of his wife, and the hands of his 2 daughters, and they brought him out and stationed him outside the city. As soon as they had brought them to the outskirts, he said,
Escape for your life. Do not look behind you, and do not stand still in any part of the district. Escape to the mountainous region so that you may not be swept away.
Then Lot said to them,
Not there, please, Jehovah. Please now, your servant has found favor in your eyes, and you are showing great kindness to me by preserving me alive. But I am not able to flee to the mountainous region, because I am afraid that disaster may overtake me, and I will die. Please now, this town is nearby, and I can flee there. It is only a small place. May I please escape there? It is only a small place. Then I will survive.
So he said to him,
Very well. I will also show you consideration by not overthrowing the town you speak of. Hurry, escape there, because I cannot do anything until you arrive there.
That is why he named the town Zoar. The sun had risen over the land when Lot arrived at Zoar. Then Jehovah made it rain sulfur and fire on Sodom and Gomorrah. It came from Jehovah, from the heavens. So he overthrew these cities, yes, the entire district, including all the inhabitants of the cities and the plants of the ground. But Lot's wife, who was behind him, began to look back. And she became a pillar of salt. Now Abraham got up early in the morning and went to the place where he had stood before Jehovah. When he looked down towards Sodom and Gomorrah and all the land of the district, he saw quite a sight. There was dense smoke rising from the land, like the dense smoke of a kiln. So when God destroyed the cities of the district, God kept Abraham in mind by sending Lot out from the cities he overthrew, the cities where Lot had been dwelling. Later, Lot went up from Zoar with his 2 daughters and began living in the mountainous region, because he was afraid to live in Zoar. So he began living in a cave with his 2 daughters. And the firstborn said to the younger,
Our father is old, and there is not a man in the land to have relations with us, according to the custom of the whole earth. Come, let us give our father wine to drink, and let us lie down with him, and preserve offspring from our father.
So that night they kept giving their father wine to drink. Then the firstborn went in and lay down with her father. But he did not know when she lay down and when she got up. Then on the next day, the firstborn said to the younger,
Here I lay down with my father last night. Let us give him wine to drink tonight also. Then you go in and lie down with him, and let us preserve offspring from our father.
So that night also they repeatedly gave their father wine to drink. Then the younger went and laid down with him. But he did not know when she lay down and when she got up. So both daughters of Lot became pregnant by their father. The firstborn gave birth to a son and named him Moab. He is the father of the Moabites of today. The younger also gave birth to a son, and she named him Ben-Ami. He is the father of the Ammonites of today.
Jehovah's judgments against law-defying people are always carried out. But he never fails to give warning in advance. As the prophet Amos says, For the sovereign Lord Jehovah will not do a thing unless he has revealed his confidential matter to his servants the prophets.